Good morning, young disciples. I want to share with you a project that I got started on this week. I started a journal that I call A Grateful Heart, and I'm going to put in it all the things that I'm thankful for. Now, last week we were talking about how we grow our faith, and one thing that I mentioned was that praying can help you to grow your faith. And when I pray, I always like to include the things that I am thankful for because God has given me many blessings in my life, and I want to thank Him for those things, just like you would thank someone who gave you a gift. Now, Pastor Gail is going to talk about how Jesus taught people to pray, and she's going to talk about that more in her message for Sunday of this week. But I want to talk about this part of the prayer. And I think that sometimes it's very easy to forget all the good that's in our lives because there's a lot of bad too, isn't there? There are people that are sick, people who are fighting. There were some really scary storms this last week, and all of those things are kind of bad things. But when we think about the good parts of those things, sometimes that helps us to see them in a different way. I have a cousin who on Facebook, every single day, she lists 3 things that happened that day that she was thankful for. And it's just a very refreshing way to look at life, to think about the good things that are going on. I saw a friend of mine had some terrible storms at her house this week during those storms, and a tree fell on her house. And instead of saying, oh my goodness, a tree fell on our house and it fell on our car, she talked about how her friends and her neighbors came over and helped to clear the tree away from her house. She was looking for the good. So that's what I decided to do, is to start a journal. I'm going to call it my gratitude journal. And I wrote a grateful heart on it. And I put, I am so thankful for. And I decided that, I could put pictures in here, or I could draw pictures, or I could just write. And one of the first things I always think of that I'm thankful for is my family. So I put pictures of my family in there, some of them. And then another thing I'm thankful for is nature. So I love to take pictures of nature, so I put some in. And I also drew, I love rainbows, that's part of nature, so I drew a rainbow. And I have so many more ideas to fill up the rest of this book. And I want you to think about the things in your life that you are grateful for. And grab your glue stick and a pencil or pen and your scissors, and maybe some colored pencils, some markers. Maybe you could get started on making your own journal that tells the things that you're thankful for. Because when you're thinking about the good in the world, you don't focus so much on the things that are not so good in the world. In the Bible, it does say, this is in 1 Thessalonians, it says, in all things give thanks. So even when something bad happens, think about a way that you can see some good in that has happened. And one way to do that, I think, is to start making your own journal that talks about all the things that you are thankful for. Let's have a prayer. Dear God, give us grateful hearts for all of the blessings in our lives. Help us to look for the good and to be the good in the world. Amen. See you next week.